My friend George was a fun and joyous soul. He liked Hamm's beer, 50s cars, and vintage rock and roll. Bar hopping with his friends was a big part of his life. The problem for my friend George was he also had a wife. When the notion struck him, he'd round up his crew. Four in the car, more or less would not do. Four in the car, that was the rule. And one had to be single, the wild card, the fool. One night near the holidays, with family in town, George needed a break. He was feeling all worn down. So he gathered the crew, but his brother-in-law came too. So five was unlucky, but what could he do? I know it sounds cliche, George said with a grin, but the place we are going is called the Dewdrop Inn. We have our wife insurance, and he looked right at me, so we should be okay, George said happily. We aimed for the Dewdrop Inn. George had heard it was the place. A friendly little country bar, a break from the rat race. Good music, pocket pool, Hamm's beer on tap. For George it set the pace. A cozy old shit kicker bar to bring a smile to your face. We spent an hour playing pool and flirting with some girls nearby. Brother-in-law got restless, called a taxi, said goodbye. 2 more hours of laughter, the fun was at its peak. But then the storm rolled in and the mood began to leak. Brother-in-law had broken the very first guy rule. He had sung to George's wife like a pigeon on a stool. He told her of the girls dancing round and making hay. She called the other wives and the caravan was on its way. I could see the door open and the wives came marching in. I could see their anger and I knew hell would soon begin. George's wife led the charge, the commander of the show. A brother-in-law trailed behind, a puppy dog in tow. I was on the payphone, cup in my ear so I could hear. One friend was at the bar getting another pitcher of beer. One friend was coming back from the bathroom down the hall. And George was at the pool table shooting the 10 ball. wives stormed in the bar like generals on a mission. Husbands scattered suddenly, seeking a defensible position. The girls had vanished silently, leaving an empty booth behind. If a catfight was a brewing, they quickly had declined. If the wives had showed up earlier, it would not have looked routine, with the guys and girls a-snuggling, a completely different scene. But all we had to do now was stay calm and play it cool. We were just a bunch of guys standing around and playing pool. All the drive over here, the wives had built up steam. With no evidence and just suspicion, they still wanted to scream. The wives looked at me with eyes shooting daggers at my head. If looks could kill, I tell you, man, I surely would be dead. It was plain to me before, but now I had no doubt. This is what wife insurance was really all about. When husband strayed, my purpose was the blame would fall on me. The wild card, the scapegoat, the one they wives would see. Now if there is one form of life married women just can't stand, it's the unattached, free-range, untagged single man. Nothing upsets their myth of happily married bliss, like a bachelor reminding husbands what the hell it is they miss. So when it became clear I was gonna be around, the wives decided that for me a wife needed to be found. But it was a waste of time, they didn't need to bother. I already had 2 girlfriends and couldn't afford another.